Massive data and giants earnings. Hi, I'm Ahura and together with you going to watch the most important events of the week ahead in the financial markets. In line with economic data and geopolitical tensions, we should not forget about earnings with the giants reports ahead. The week will start with the more information from France and the fate of the presidential election. Uncertainty in the market continuing with the ongoing Ukraine jitters while inflation is still at the center of the stage returns all attentions to the central banks. Number 1. German IFO business climate. IFO business climate in Germany is usually followed closely by market participants. In February, it fell to 90.1 and now in March, while analysts are waiting for a slightly recovery to 94.2, we can wait for a downtrend surprise as well. War in Ukraine can change the current German business climate and expectations for the next 6 months. It should not be much helpful for Europe. Number 2. US durable goods order. March numbers would tell us whether the broad-based decline in orders should scare us about the fate of the future capital spending plans or not. In February, orders declined 2.1% with the fewer aircraft order, but we expect the overall durable goods order to increase 1.4% in March with more orders. If we exclude transportation items, it had a softer fall in February, declining by just 0.2% from the prior month. Expected data would not be positive for the US stock markets. Number 3. Australian quarter first inflation. RBA minutes of the last meeting indicated faster inflation and wage growth had brought closer the timing of initial rate hike. RBA expects the quarter first 2022 core inflation above its 2 to 3% midterm target range, and the consensus estimates for the quarter first CPI is rapid increase to 3.4% and the headline CPI to 4.6%. These numbers should support the economist forecast for the initial 15 basis point policy rate raise in the June RBA meeting, and it must be positive for the Australian dollar. Number 4. BOJ Outlook Report and Monetary Policy Statement. Yen expected to regain some of its losses during this week. Despite major central banks, BOJ continues its monetary fiscal policy support by an unlimited amount of the bond purchases at the fixed rate. BOJ Governor Mr. Kuroda also emphasized that the Japanese economy still needs help. However, we know that the yen has already moved towards its 20 years low and the yield on Japanese bond is spiking. Now, the question is how long can this policy be maintained? Number 5. US quarter first GDP. The first estimates for the quarter first 2022 GDP growth in the United States are due to release this Thursday to give us more insight into how Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the rapid rise of inflation, and ongoing supply chain shortages would positively affect the economic growth. Overall expectations are for 0.5% increase, which are led mainly by solid business and residential investment growth that we peg at 9.9 and 7% respectively. Also, we shouldn't forget that higher price will increase the nominal GDP number, and it must be positive for the United States dollar. Number 6. Crazy Friday and Japanese holiday. While the Japanese celebrate the birthday of Emperor Shua, it will be a crazy day for the financial markets, especially in Europe. Starting with Australian producer inflation numbers, Friday will have more data to watch, including succinct manufacturing PMI, French GDP, CPI and consumer spending, German GDP and trade balance, and Eurozone inflation and GDP numbers. Later, in the North American season, the US PCE price index and personal spending with Canadian GDP numbers will be in the spotlight. With these estimated data, Euro can regain some of its losses on the last day of this week. And finally, number 7, earnings and giants. This week, we will have more critical earnings to watch. Coca-Cola on Monday, Microsoft, Google, Visa, PepsiCo, and 3M on Tuesday, Meta Platforms, T-Mobile US, Qualcomm, Boeing, Ford Motors, CMA Group, and PayPal on Wednesday, Apple, Amazon, MasterCard, Lilly, Intel, McDonald's, Caterpillar, Twitter, and Sony on Thursday, and finally ExxonMobil, Chevron, Bristol, and Honeywell on Friday will be the most important earnings to watch. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope it will be an amazing and fantastic week for you.